Many of those in New Hanover County are back to normal following Florence. The storm hit us nearly 2 months ago, and all that time there are still people without a place to call home. Tonight our Andrew James is sharing their stories. He joins us in studio with more.
Well, Amanda, these are folks who were low income and had very little before the storm. Florence left them with nearly nothing, damaging their homes. Now the Red Cross has to close up its final shelter, with several people uncertain where they will end up.
Every no is a heartbreak.
That's all Dawn Smith and her family have heard, alongside the dozens of people that have had to call this Red Cross shelter home for weeks now.
Nobody's willing to put forth to get these people out of this shelter that has to close, because Red Cross is only temporary shelter. They don't provide long-term shelter.
8 weeks. That's how long Smith has been in the shelter since the storm. She has 3 teenage kids, some with disabilities. The shelter is set to close Friday at 1 p.m., still with several people like Smith and her kids who have no permanent home.
These families are going to wind up in a homeless shelter.
That's not because of the lack of effort. Multiple agencies, including the Red Cross, have worked for weeks to get local landlords to accept these people.
We had an affordable housing crisis before the storm, and now it's just exacerbated by the fact that we've had more than 1,000 units go offline.
It won't be the homeless shelter just yet for Smith's family. The Red Cross was able to work with FEMA to get them a hotel for 2 more weeks.
That's still not enough time. By the time you fill out rental applications and wait for an approval, you've spent for 3 or 4 days. And by the time you do that 3 or 4 times, your 2 weeks is gone.
The clock, though, is ticking for her family, as it is for those like Darius Waddle, who needs to find a handicap-accessible space.
I feel like I'm at the bottom right now. I think the only chance to go is but up. I've never been through this.
Thursday morning, nearly 40 families had little to no options. Red Cross volunteers cutting that down to 5 who still need a home heading into the final day.
It's hard today not knowing what tomorrow's going to bring.
Now, people like Smith are not just trying to apply without any support. Smith tells me groups like Back at Home support these storm victims and pledge up to 6 months paid rent and utilities to landlords who accept them. Amanda?